Hey guys, Kids here, and this is the part 3 tutorial for the Revan mask. This is the final one, and this one deals with doing the plastic resin mold with the one that you made from the past tutorial. So again, I do apologize for making a video so much later than the last one. I think the last tutorial video that I did was a little over a year ago, so we gotta stop meeting like this. Alright, for those of you who are interested in making a plastic mask out of the one that you have so far, this is the tutorial to do it. If you like the one that you got before with just the clay, then that's alright. I personally like the plastic ones because those are lighter to wear and you can probably make more of those in a faster amount of time. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is to get a silicone mold of it so that we can capture the shape. Now, if you guys remember how to do that, we use the Rebound 25 material, and if you guys want to take a look on how to do that, you can check my Sith Acolyte mask tutorial on that. So I'll do a quick recap in this video, but if you want to get an extensive tutorial on that, just go back there. So the first thing we got to do is get all of our supplies, and once we have that, in order to make sure that we can cover the entire mask, we need to make some kind of brace or wall or something underneath that goes under the mouth part. So I made some kind of custom piece with cardboard, and I just cut it around and basically messed with it until it kind of fit in a nice comfortable spot, and then I wrapped that around with aluminum foil so that there wouldn't really get any kind of, I don't know, damage or nothing would stick on it. And then I just put it on the mask. I used some tape inside and made sure it looked nice and flush, and there wasn't really any kind of air that was coming out. If you also notice, right near where the cheeks are, I added a couple extra layers so that I could give some kind of elevation. So that way it could match around with the rest of the mask. And it looked pretty cool. So once I did that, I started on with putting all that orange goo on it. So you mix your parts of Rebound 25 1-to-1 and mix it a little bit until you got a nice light orange color, and then just spread all over it. I did a couple of layers with that. One for just making sure that I had everything covered, and another one to give it a little bit extra thickness. If you guys remember, that's the Thivex silicone thickener. I did use that for the second and third coat in order to make sure that it wouldn't really be dripping around a lot. I did like 6 or 7, 8 drops, maybe max. That's all you really need, especially if you're going to use a cup of the size that I'm using, which is like those kind of party cups. So that works too. So once you have your entire mask covered in the silicone rubber, the next thing that you have to do is create the support shell. And you guys remember how to do that from my last tutorial video. We're making some mashed potatoes. We're using the plastic paste material. So you do 2 parts of the mashed potatoes part and 1 part of the gravy. You mix all those together in a cup and start applying it to your entire mask. Once you've got the entire mask covered, you put a little rim around it so that it'll make it easier to take off, and then you just let it dry overnight. I did this in a period of a couple days because I didn't really have enough time to go back and forth, but it takes about an hour, maybe hour and a half, for the whole support shell to dry after you completed the entire thing. And if you have enough material to go over all of it, then cool. Now we have to take out the mask. Again, it can get pretty tricky if there's any kind of part that is, if there's some kind of lip that goes over, or if the rubber tucks in. And if that happens, then the support shell is going to tuck in, and then that makes it really hard for the mask to come out. Unfortunately, that did happen with my mask, and I had to get a screwdriver in order to wedge out certain pieces. I had to break off a little piece of the support shell in order to get the screwdriver underneath the silicone rubber on the face of the mask. But other than that, I didn't have any trouble getting it out. The shape was nice, and there weren't any lips that tucked inside, and that silver, or the aluminum piece that went over the mouth, it was actually a good thing to put that there because it made it a lot easier to do. If there's something that doesn't need to be there, you can cut it out. You're going to mix parts A and B of your plastic materials, put it in there, and you guys, what you kind of want to, I don't know, just swish it around. You don't want to let it sit up on one side. You want to try and get as much surface area as you can on your first try before the plastic hardens, and it does harden pretty quickly once it reaches a certain point, so just be ready and be prepared for when that happens. You'll do that for more than once. You'll have more than one layer of plastic that you're going to put in there. I believe I did 3 in order to cover the entire area inside and give it a little bit of thickness. I didn't have any trouble with that. So once you have your plastic mold inside, it's time to take it out. You've got the exact same duplicate of your Revan mask that you made out of clay, and now we're moving on to the painting. So you're going to get some newspaper so that you can do it outside. You're going to get some red paint, Tuscan red, so that it could match with the color of the mask from the Old Republic video games. And I got some metallic spray paint so that I could give it a little bit of shine. So the first thing that you have to do is do the primary color, and that's the gray. So cover that all up with the gray spray paint and see if you can get everywhere. You don't have to get inside because that's not the part that you're painting. And once you have the gray part, you can add the secondary color, which is the red. So you can add that Tuscan red over the specific parts that you want. I tried to keep it as close to my original clay mask as possible, and then I had a nice solid area of coverage with it. So once I had my gray and my red on there, so once you have your gray and your red paint on the mask, you want to start giving it some more metallic, some more texture, some more detail. And that's where you're going to be having some black spray paint. If you've got any kind of non-metallic, non-shiny, non-glossy, that's what you want to use, because you're going to need to have the shine coming from the gray, but the actual color is going to be a little bit darker. So before you add the black spray paint, you're going to need to start covering up the areas that you painted red. And what I did was just take a lot of masking tape and go over the areas that I didn't want to change color. If it does happen, it's okay. If there's any kind of black that gets on the red, that is okay. You've got plenty of red to paint over, because it's the color that you see on the top. It doesn't do, it's not too bad of a thing. If you wanted to, you could just leave out the masking tape completely and just start lightly spraying black, but maintain a feet of maybe 2 feet away from the mask, so that when you're spraying the black, it doesn't instantly concentrate itself in one area. That's not what you're going for. You're just trying to give it a darker shade. You're not trying to make it black completely. So once you have the gray parts all darkened up with the black paint and you've gotten your scotch tape taken off, then that's it. That's the painting job. Don't forget to put on your acrylic sealer on the top so that the paint stays on there and it's weatherproof. I use my classic acrylic sealant Mod Podge, and in the back you can put in your plastic visor, which is just just some rectangular strip of plastic, and then you can put some kind of filter over that. And then you have your nose piece in the middle where it can sit comfortably between your nostrils, and just make that with you can see my previous tutorial on how to make those. And the elastic strap that I used for this one, it was different from the one I used in my Sith Acolyte mask. This one was just basically the kind of elastic that you put in some kind of elastic pants. I didn't want to do the Velcro straps for this because it didn't seem, it didn't seem strong enough. And this one felt nice and clean. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorials, and if you guys want to check out more of my stuff, you can check out my Facebook page as well as my YouTube videos on other tutorials. And if you guys want to see where all this stuff is being used in, you can check out our Star Wars movie, The Old Republic Revan. You can find our Facebook page as well as our videos on YouTube. So thanks guys, and until next time.